according to demonologists, the whole thing goes down in 4 stages. But before that, you got the infestation, aka the invitation. It's kind of like old school vampire rules, right? The entity can't just rock up. You've gotta open the door first. Sometimes that's deliberate. Candles, symbols, incantations, people calling out names they probably shouldn't be calling out. But sometimes it's completely accidental, like you're at a house party. Everybody's getting sloshed, it's late, the vibes are vibing, the music's gone from loud to that weird quiet phase where everybody's just chatting, you know what I'm saying? And then somebody decides they want to be edgy. They start talking about a local legend, a girl, a spirit, a thing that lives on, something that supposedly still lingers around these parts. And somebody laughs, somebody else goes, nah, bro, that's not real. Then somebody goes, alright then, prove it. And next thing you know, you and a couple of your homies are standing outside a closet. Pitch black, no phones, no lights, just darkness and a dare. Apparently, all you've got to do is step inside, close the door, and say her name 3 times. Shannon Maguire. Shannon Maguire. Shannon Maguire. One of your homies looks at you, eyes wide open. He goes, you're freaking out, but then he starts laughing. Like, I got you. And you're like, yo, it's not funny. You play too much. You have a few more drinks, you know what I'm saying? And then you go to the bathroom and it's silence. The kind of silence that feels occupied. You wash your hands, try not to look at your reflection in the mirror, like, you know what I'm saying? Just looking down at your hands. You're tripping, you're fine, you're just tripping. You laugh it off, trying to shake it off. You reach for the door, and that's when you notice it. Your hand is shaking. Not because you're scared, but because somehow the air feels different, heavier. The lights go off. It's gotta be your homies playing a prank on you. It's gotta be. The room feels smaller, like something else is in there with you. You can't see it. You're dashing towards the door. The darkness doesn't look normal. It's hard to explain. It's almost like the shadows are not shadows. It's like they're alive. You tell yourself you're just being stupid. You're just being stupid. Your heart's going crazy. And then you get this overwhelming feeling. This feeling that if you turn around, you won't be alone. You know this feeling. It's the feeling you get when somebody walks into a room and you don't need to look to know that they're there. Imagine that. And then with every second that passes, that certainty grows. Something is following you, not touching you, not speaking, just watching. You don't hear breathing, you don't hear footsteps, you don't hear movement. Somehow, that just makes it worse, because if there was breathing, at least you'd know what you're dealing with. Instead, your brain starts filling in the blanks. You imagine eyes, you imagine a face, you imagine fingers slowly reaching out from the darkness. And suddenly, opening that door becomes the most important thing you've ever done in your life. You don't care about looking brave anymore. You don't care if your friends laugh at you. You just want out, because deep down, a part of you is terrified that if you stay in there 1 second longer, something might finally decide to let you see it. So you're out the bathroom, your homies are cracking up, you pretend to be in on the joke or whatever, but whatever was in that dark room is with you now. That's the invitation. Sometimes the invitation comes from tragedy, from trauma. Something bad happens, and that pain, that grief, it takes up space, and you can't let it go, and the entity feeds off it. Once the entity has been invited in, the first stage is infestation. This is where the entity starts making itself at home in your environment. Nothing huge, nothing crazy, not yet, okay? That's what makes it creepy. Because at first, it's just little things. You walk into a room and you catch a whiff or something. Like, what's that? Like rotten eggs or decayed meat. You spend an hour looking for it. You're lifting up cushions. You're checking out the fridge. You're looking in cupboards. You're trying to find this smell. And then smell just vanishes, goes away. A A few days later, you're watching TV. Hey, maybe you're checking out my videos. You're like, hey, this Maya guy got such a weirdly diverse selection of content. Like, how's he got a deep dive video on Taylor Swift, alien abductions, and now demons? Like, what's going on? I guess that's why his channel's called Maya's Brain, because he be making videos about whatever pops in his brain. And then, right, you hear footsteps upstairs. You pause the video. You hear them slow, deliberate. You remove the headphones out your ears. 1 footstep, 2, 3. You assume somebody's home. You call out, hey, no answer. You go check, nothing, nobody. And then little things start appearing where they shouldn't be. You find a cup on a kitchen table that you could have sworn you'd put away, a photograph that somehow ended up facing the wall, a door that keeps being open when you're certain you closed it. You start blaming yourself, like, hey, you know what, I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I'm stressed. I've been under a lot of stress. Maybe I'm just forgetting things. But deep down, something feels off. Then the dreams begin. Not nightmares, not at first, just strange dreams. A figure standing far away, watching. Every night, it gets a little closer. And every morning, you wake up feeling exhausted, like you never slept at all. Then one night, you wake up at 3 a.m. You don't know why. The house is silent. And for a split second, you see somebody standing in your bedroom doorway. You sit upright, okay? The figure's gone. You tell yourself it was just a dream. But the problem is, you know you weren't asleep. You know that. The second stage is oppression. And this is where things stop happening around you and start happening to you. According to demonologists, this is when the entity begins grinding a person down, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Imagine waking up every morning just feeling exhausted, not sleepy, exhausted, like something spent the entire night feeding on your energy. You start having the same nightmare over and over again. And usually it's like of you walking through your house. Everything looks normal until you realize every room is empty, like empty. The furniture gone, everybody gone. And at the very end of the hallway, there's someone standing there waiting. Every night they get a little closer. Every night you see a little more of their face. You see more of the features. And then when you wake up exhausted, life starts falling apart. You and your people start arguing over nothing. You're in a bad mood and you just can't shake it. Money starts disappearing, unexpected bills, bad luck, your friendships become strained. You are depressed, sad, angry, tired all the time. And the crazy thing is, you can't point to one big disaster. It's 1,000 tiny cuts, 1,000 little things slowly draining the life out of you. And then comes the anxiety. Not normal anxiety, the kind where your heart suddenly starts racing for no reason. You check the doors, you check them again, and then again. You know you're being irrational, you know it, but you can't stop. And everywhere you go, you have this overwhelming feeling that something terrible is about to happen. Like you're standing on the edge of a cliff, waiting to be pushed. The third stage is obsession. And this might be the scariest stage of all, I ain't gonna hold you. Because now the battle isn't happening in your crib, it's happening inside your head. Like, when you have like an embarrassing memory pop up in your mind out of nowhere? Imagine that, except it's like every waking moment. You can't focus, you can't think straight, you can't enjoy anything because every thought gets interrupted by another thought and another images, dark thoughts, intrusive thoughts, thoughts that don't even feel like yours. You're sitting at work trying to focus, and suddenly your mind whispers, instructing you to end it all. Horrible images flash through your mind. You don't want it there. You hate it, but it keeps coming back again and again and again. Relentless. You stop telling people what's happening because you're scared they'll think you're crazy. They'll have you sectioned, medicated, making it easier for the entity to consume you. So you pretend everything is all right. You stop trusting your own mind. You stop trusting yourself. And that's what makes this stage so terrifying. Because by now, the thing doesn't need to be standing in the corner of the room anymore. It doesn't need to slam doors. It doesn't need to move objects around because it's found somewhere more dangerous inside your thoughts. And then finally, the demon possesses your body. The possession is complete.